White House distances itself from Hunter Biden's profanity-laced attack on Trump's immigration stance. The Biden White House pushed back after Hunter Biden launched a fiery, expletive-filled rant against President Trump's immigration policies during an interview on Channel 5 with Andrew Callaghan. In the viral clip, Hunter echoed Democratic criticisms, but his tone drew fresh scrutiny. "Am I not allowed to feel empathy?" Hunter Biden said during the interview. "Should I just parrot what Democrats keep saying, that we must acknowledge people are upset about illegal immigration?" That. "Who do you think cleans your hotel room?" He continued. "How do you think food gets on your eating table? Who washes your dishes? Who does your garden?" These people are here by sheer grit and will. They made it because they believed they could give their families a better shot at life. The White House didn't hold back after Hunter Biden's viral interview, where his comments reignited controversy. Though often working behind the scenes, Hunter has long drawn criticism for his overseas business ties and influence during the Biden administration. Reacting strongly, White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said, "A CBP agent was just shot in the face by two criminal, illegal aliens Joe Biden let into this country. Yet Hunter is more worried about who cleans up after his benders in a hotel room." Jackson added, "This kind of callous, self-serving behavior from the entire Biden family is exactly why Joe Biden left office with record-low approval ratings." The administration has begun transferring individuals linked to foreign terrorist groups, including MS-13, to a high-security prison in El Salvador. Simultaneously, Immigration and Customs Enforcement is intensifying nationwide immigration enforcement, even in sanctuary cities. In the interview, the former president's son also called both President Donald Trump and El Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele a dictator, and referred to the Central American nation's terrorism confinement center as a likely death camp. Biden was granted a pardon by his father in December for any crimes he has committed or may have committed dating back to 2014. Biden said his son was being selectively and unfairly prosecuted after he was convicted in two federal cases in 2024 for tax and firearm offenses. On February 28, 2025, Representative Green drops bombshell at Congress hearing and blamed Biden by saying that he used USAID as leverage to protect Hunter.
When Joe Biden was president, his son Hunter was on the board of a Ukrainian energy company called Burisma. The prosecutor general of Ukraine at the time, Viktor Shokin, was investigating Burisma for corruption. Biden threatened, and it's on video, to withhold $1 billion of USAID grant to Ukraine if Shokin wasn't fired. Mr. Primorak, is USAID supposed to be used as leverage by a president to protect his son?
No, we call that corruption.
Mr. Primorak, in your estimation, roughly what percentage of USAID funding is doled out to bad actors or to efforts that don't have the best interests of Americans in mind?
I think what troubles me most is learning, I believe last year, following the hard work of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and Senator Joni Ernst, that USAID has been paying out over 50% to overhead charges. The Office of Inspector General of USAID criticized the agency for not knowing the overhead charges being handed out to all of these actors for $142 billion of disbursements. That is extremely troubling.
Yes. Mr. Primorak, Samantha Power, Biden's USAID administrator, openly spoke about her agency's efforts to promote democracy around the world. In your estimation, Mr. Primorak, is that what she was doing? If not, what was USAID doing during the Biden administration?
Let me cite the Holy Father, Pope Francis, who accused USAID and other donors of promoting ideological colonization, pushing a radical ideology onto the developing world that is anti-family and anti-life.
It has been asserted that USAID spent tens of millions of American taxpayer dollars to promote propaganda in Brazil in the lead up to the Bolsonaro-Lula election in 2022. It has been claimed that this funding was used to pass censorship laws and silence Bolsonaro's online presence, and even bar him from running for office in the future. Mr. Primarak, can you offer any insight into these allegations, or at least comment on whether the U.S. should play a role in toppling democratic processes around the world?
I think what we saw was USAID weaponized by the Biden administration and by Samantha Power to attack any party that was conservative. It just didn't happen in Brazil. It also happened, for instance, in very pro-America, Poland and Hungary as well.
One of the most extensive examples of regime change operations fueled by USAID is that of their role in the Syrian civil war aimed at toppling Bashar al-Assad. Reports from DD Geopolitics and other sources estimate that USAID funneled over $15 billion into Syria over a decade, covertly funding opposition groups, mercenaries, and anti-government networks under the cover of humanitarian aid. This included support for militant factions and propaganda efforts, often in collaboration with the National Endowment for Democracy. The operation culminated in Assad's overthrow in 2024 by Western-backed groups, with USAID's financial trails documented in congressional budget reports and criticized by Syrian officials as interference masses assistance. Mr. Roman, do these kinds of activities carried out by an American agency make Americans safer at home, or do they risk embroiling us in more deadly and costly foreign conflicts?
When the agency is doing it according to the way in which represents American national security interests, it's correct. But when it's abused for political purposes, ideological umbrage, and sponsoring Islamism, which is inherently anti-American, it is the worst exhaustion of American taxpayer money that can be thought of, especially when it leads to the loss and danger to American lives.
Mm-hmm. In 2014, during the Euromaidan uprising in Ukraine, which led to the ousting of President Viktor Yanukovych, USAID is estimated to have spent billions of dollars on civil society initiatives that were allegedly designed to destabilize the pro-Russian government. USAID specifically funded NGOs and media outlets that amplified the anti-Yanukovych sentiment in an effort to align Ukraine more closely with the West. We also know that 9 out of 10 of Ukraine's major media outlets receive funding from USAID. Mr. Roman, should Americans' tax dollars be funding propaganda?
When it's pro-American propaganda, yes. But if it's supporting another regime which is inherently anti-American, no, it should have no involvement with that, which is the pattern we've seen under the Biden and Obama administrations.
Thank you. I now recognize the ranking member for 5 minutes.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, and good morning. I appreciate that this committee is going to shed some light on what's going on at USAID, but I do really wish that our friend with his golden chainsaw would drop on by, because you know what, Mr. Musk, we really would like to know what you're up to. And so far, our friends across the aisle have shielded you from appearing in front of Congress. So come on down, bring your chainsaw. We'll be happy to host you. Let's dive into some of our questions with the witnesses here. Mr. Primarak, I appreciate your federal service. Thank you for serving as a Fed.